everyone, this is Dankystad, and in this guide I will be talking about Yeti Midrange, an anti-meta deck that is a great choice if you're looking to beat Zed Poppy, Akshan Sivir, and other rally decks. This video will break down the basic strategy and card choices, and along with some highlights show off the deck. Feel free to grab the deck code in the description, and enjoy the video. Winning with Yetis is simple. The goal of the deck is to get ahead on board by playing followers that have good stats for their cost, and in that regard, Yetis are unmatched. Even with no keywords, the 5/5 Yetis are too much for a lot of the meta to handle, and if you can summon enough of them early, then your big champions can close out the game on a backbreaking open attack. The combat tricks and removal make sure that things go smoothly, and the flexibility and efficiency of this deck's interaction helps it push through other decks that go for board control in the mid-game. As for how the cards do this, let's start by talking about the Yeti package. The Yetis are the backbone of the deck, and our deck is playing as many Yeti cards as it can. Yeti Yearling, Ancient Yeti, and Avarosan Trapper create the most powerful board swings possible on turns 3 and 4, when combined with Tall Tales and Abominable Guardian. They can attack over every other board on these turns, and shut down popular 4-mana plays like Poppy and Lecturing Yordle. The other followers will support this strategy while hedging against its weaknesses. Swiftwing Flight might seem out of place at first glance, but it pulls its weight by both pulling small blockers out of the way and by generating up to 2 additional challengers in later turns. In particular, it shines brightest against Lurk, where it can safely clear a path for your Yetis and sometimes trade 3 for 1 against smaller lurkers. Radiant Guardian is a nightmare for decks that try to burn you over the top, and it can salvage some poor matchups and close the door against decks like Teemo Swain and TF Gangplank. While the followers are how this deck gains advantage, the champions are how it cashes in to seal the deal. Jarvan IV pairs with Abominable Yetis for massive burst. For only a single action, you can sometimes develop a 5/5, a 6/4 barrier champion, and attack. Along with an existing board of Yetis, this will usually end the game. Jarvan also lines up well against most mid-game units, especially Sivir and Curious Shellfolk. Of course, if Jarvan isn't enough, then Tryndamere can close the door on your opponents. While Minimorph is normally a huge concern, our Yeti mid-game does so well against those decks that Tryndamere forcing out the spell is acceptable, if not ideal. Most decks with Piltover and Zaun, Noxus, and Demacia removal spells are unable to answer him, and he plays great against Akshan Sivir and Draven Scion. Still, he is expensive, so the 6th champion slot goes to Garen. Even though his role isn't as central as the other champions, Garen can take over games where damage-based removal and combat are the only choices the opponent has. Once he levels up, the attack tokens he generates provide a ton of momentum, and here you can see a great example of why Garen deserves his spot. Finally, the spells tie it all together, and Demacia and Freljord give the deck the support it needs at an unbeatable rate. Troll Chant makes your Yetis effectively unkillable in combat, and even against spell shield units like Sivir, it will let you come out ahead. Sharpsight lets you block Greenglade Duo and Teemo. It also keeps your units out of range of removal. This last part is most important while Tall Tales is on the stack, since if your Yeti is on board and is removed, then it can set you back a turn of card draw, 1 mana, and an action. Single Combat and Cataclysm form the core of our removal, providing mana efficiency and opportunities to progress Jarvan's level condition. Cataclysm also can act as a rally alongside the Valors generated by Swiftwing Flight and units buffed by Field Promotion. Speaking of Field Promotion, it pairs especially well with Tryndamere and Ancient Yeti, giving your Overwhelm units more chances to deal Nexus damage. It also is a strong pairing with Radiant Guardian, and this will usually result in a concession from aggressive decks. Golden Aegis is the traditional rally effect, and depending on your local meta, including more than one could be a good choice. Last but not least, Three Sisters provides flexibility, giving the option for a freeze, buffs, or a short-term removal. That is the deck, and thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoy playing with some Yetis before the new expansion comes out, and if you have any other ideas or decks you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. Thank you very much.